Mall Santas. What's the sweetest thing a kid has ever asked for? So I was working as a mall Santa last December because college bills don't pay themselves. This little boy climbed onto my lap, maybe 7 or 8 years old, wearing this worn-out jacket that was way too big for him. He didn't immediately start rattling off his Christmas list like the other kids. Instead, he kept looking around, checking if anyone was listening. His mom was standing a few feet away, talking to another parent, not really paying attention. That's when he leaned in real close and whispered something that completely floored me. Santa, I don't want any toys this year. I just want my mom to get a job. I stayed in character, but inside I was like, whoa, kids don't usually ask for stuff like that. So I asked him why, still using my jolly Santa voice. That's when he told me they'd been living in their car for 3 months since his mom lost her job at the grocery store. He said she cried every night when she thought he was sleeping, but he could hear her through the thin car walls. He told me how she always said she wasn't hungry when there wasn't enough food, giving him her portion of whatever they managed to get from the food bank. He just wanted her to smile again like she used to. This kid, Caleb, was so matter-of-fact about it, like he'd already accepted this was just how things were. He mentioned how his mom would drive them to different parking lots each night so they wouldn't get in trouble for sleeping in the car. Sometimes they'd go to the 24-hour Walmart, sometimes behind the Denny's where it was darker. I'm sitting there in this ridiculous red suit, trying not to break character while this kid is breaking my heart. He told me about how his mom would take him to the library every day after school so he could do homework, and she could apply for jobs online. He said she was really smart and used to help him with math, but now she just seemed tired all the time. The worst part was when he said, I know you're not the real Santa, but my mom said making a wish sometimes helps. This 7-year-old had already figured out I was fake, but he was still hoping somehow I could make things better. When his mom came to get him, I could see what he meant. She looked exhausted, wearing clothes that had seen better days, forcing a smile that didn't reach her eyes. She apologized for taking so long and thanked me for being patient with Caleb. I told her he was a wonderful kid, and she just nodded, probably hearing that from strangers who had no idea what they were going through. After they left, I asked my supervisor for a quick break. I walked to the employee break room, still in the full Santa costume, and called my buddy Jake, who runs a community outreach program downtown. I told him about Caleb and his mom, and Jake immediately said he could help. That night, I met up with Jake and we drove around until we found their car in a McDonald's parking lot. I knocked on the window, still partially in costume because I hadn't had time to fully change. Caleb's mom was suspicious at first, but when Caleb saw me, he smiled and said, Mom, that's the Santa I talked to today. Jake explained about the job placement program he ran and the temporary housing assistance they could provide. At first, she was too proud to accept help, saying they were managing fine. But Caleb looked at her and said, Mom, remember how you told me Santa wasn't real, but wishes sometimes still come true? 2 weeks later, I got a text from Jake. Caleb's mom had gotten a job at a local office, and they'd moved into a small apartment through the assistance program. But the real kicker came a month after that. I was back at the mall working another Santa shift when I saw Caleb again. But this time was different. He was with his mom, and they were actually shopping, not just walking around staying warm. His mom looked completely different. She'd gained some weight back, her clothes fit properly, and she was genuinely smiling. Caleb ran up to me and climbed on my lap again. This time he whispered, Santa, thank you for helping my mom get a job. This year, can I just have a Hot Wheels car? The blue one with flames? His mom was crying happy tears in the background, mouthing thank you to me over and over. I gave him the biggest ho 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 I could manage and told him he'd definitely been on the nice list. After they left, I had to take another break because I was getting way too emotional for a guy in a Santa suit.